Hello, I'm Geoffrey from GeStudio. I heard some people had some difficulties making some things appear and disappear, so let's see how I would do that. Here is a little funny example with our friend Ghost. As you can see, this ghost is emissive here. He's chilling. So let's lit him. You didn't like it, did you? Okay. As long as I'm using my torchlight on him, he won't reappear. Up, he's back. Oop, and again. This is very simple to do, so let's see how it's done. As always, I'm using an older version of Unreal Engine to make sure it's kind of backwards compatible. The controller. We just need something to overlap to test when the character is moving, to see if if it overlaps the ghost, it tells it to disappear. So just add this kind of cone, choose the dimensions you want, adjust it with the spotlight, see, needs to fit as best as possible. You also need to create an interface for the ghost to receive the instruction. Create this kind of event. Give some input values that could be used in gameplay, like a value and the identity of the player that spotted it. You can do whatever you want anyway. Add this interface to the ghost. So here, see, add up ghost interactions is my interface name. In the ghost, of course, you add the events we just created. Here I chose to simply add it as an aggro target, and at this value is just an example. It's not necessary for the disappearing mechanic as itself. For the mechanic, you need this value being seen to be high. You will see why. So yeah, see, it's a very basic orientation to aggro mechanic, something it's not unique at all. Anyway, that is disappearing. I'm using here a timeline to make it simple, to not go into something that would lose beginners, and after all, timelines are nice. It updates the materials this way. I'm simply using the material to hide. So something important, of course, if you want to be able to modify these values, you need, in a construction script, you need to create dynamic material instances. It's very important. And then you call these instances. You cannot update the material, the original material, because it's not dynamic. So construction, you take the materials and turn them into dynamic instances, then you can update them. But something is important. As you can see in the material, I'm using opacity mask to make sure the ghost can project some shadows. I needed an opaque and I use masked. By the way, it prevents transparency issues when you have both. I mean, the ghost has two surfaces with two materials, and since they're very close, using transparency would create issues. So opacity mask, dither temporal AA, the alpha value. It's important to always copy paste this kind of values. It when you copy it here and you paste it here to, because you know the famous space you forgot on the little character that will make it not fit. As you can see, for the face, I have this to to change the texture for the little joke, but it's not important here. Timeline is simple. You see, the value is getting low, so you right click, you add keys, and you can put one at maximum, one at minimum. It shows the animation to be half a second, and I think it's the best. You can make it longer if you want. When it's done making the ghost disappear, I start a timer to slowly make the ghost forget about the light, you see? When it completely forgot about the light, you can reset and clear this timer, don't forget. Don't let timers go, it's never good for performances. So we reset, so it's just a custom event I created, nothing incredible. I call it here. So it changes my faces. And reverse the timeline. Simple. Alpha goes higher. It updates material. Nothing nothing really crazy. It works pretty well. On the character side, things to note. Same thing, you have to create a dynamic material for the test, for the overlap test. Of course, hide the spotlight. See, if you don't want the player to have it all the time, of course. Don't forget to stop the collision and the overlap detection if you don't want it to be on all the time again. So here I'm putting the alpha value of the invisibility overlap at 0. That's why I created this instance, to be able to modify the value. Then when I right click, I mean, I chose right click, but it could be anything. It's the lamp on action I created. Of course, here in inputs, project settings, the input, lamp on. See, right mouse or gamepad left trigger. Very simple. Just you can just add it. So when it's pressed, the collision turns on the cone. Just query, yeah? No need for physics, it would be pointless. And the spotlight is lit. On the contrary, when it's released, the opposite happens. The detection itself, when the overlap begins, test if the interface is there. Don't forget to do this test, because otherwise you will record anything. So you need to test if this interface is here. It allows you to create a lot of other kind of ghosts if you want. You need to have a list, an array of ghosts. So just make an actor array. So just add. Here you can choose it to make it an array instead of a single variable. You add this one. So here I test if my my timer is active by handle. If it's not, This tests if the timer exists, but also if it's in pause. It's pretty useful, so always use that if you don't want to have issues when the timer is already existing. Because if you only test its existence but it's in pause, just always use this node. Anyway, I make it tick every 256. It doesn't need to tick too often. I check these actors. Am I still spotting them? So I've created this function. You don't need it, not really. The thing is, it's just a demonstration. It detects how much the ghost is in front of the player. It can be 0.9, something like this, when it's on the border of the cone, and 1 if it's in the middle. It's just a demonstration, but it's not really necessary. You could just say 1. Stop overlapping. I test if it's it stops overlapping a ghost. Spotted ghost, I remove, and there is a mistake. There is a mistake. I need to check the length. If this is not more than 0, we need to clear the timer. Oh, one thing that felt obvious to me, but sorry. When you use your cone for detection, of course, only just ignore everything, click here, and overlap pawns only, if it's only pawns that you want. Here, I just want to test these characters. If you want to also test, let's say, something that you will mark as dynamic, like I don't know, something floating in the air, you can also test it here. If you create new object responses, new type of objects in your project, you can add these too. Like this. Oh, and it's buggy, so even if in Unreal Engine 5 there is a bug, so if you create too many of these, it will go outside of the screen. You have to move the window, make it big like that sometimes to see everything. But anyway, you can create new presets, you can create new objects. As an example, if you ghosty things, I can of course create new presets for collisions if I want to, or I won't. Here it's pointless. See, now ghosty things are here, so I can use it for objects or things that wouldn't be pawned if I really need to identify them specifically. As you can see, it's limited. I mean, 18 is a big number, but in some projects you can, yeah, just think about it correctly. I mean, before doing things and getting stuck because you don't have enough. Anyway, this project is available on my Patreon, of course, can be downloaded over there. If you have questions, you can ask them there too. And well, see you soon. Hope you'll have a lot of fun with this. Oh, don't forget when you do this kind of game, just force a little bit on the fog so see the light. See, it's always super fun. See you. Bye bye.